everyone, and welcome back to Make Our World Your Runway. This is the show that's all about the beauty, pageantry, modeling, fashion, business, and also the entertainment industry. So we're so glad that you're able to join us again this evening because we have a wonderful, beautiful, and exciting guest. But before we bring her on, we always want to give you a few reminders. And we'd like to remind all our viewers to subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel so you can view Make Our World Your Runway and the GTC success stories. The 100 Successful Women in Business book is now available at Amazon and Target. I highly recommend you picking up a copy and read the many accomplishments of these amazing, successful women. Available every Monday, the Global Trade Chamber magazine. Fabulous stories in there. You will totally love it. And the big news, registrations are now open for the next round of awards for 100 Successful Women in Business. That's going to be taking place in London, England, August 24th to the 28th. That is one event I'm telling you, you do not want to miss. Now, if you know a successful woman who has amazing accomplishments, or you feel you are an amazing woman yourself, do not hesitate to nominate yourself or someone that you know. Like I said, it's a great event, great accomplishments for women, something you do not want to miss. I will be there, so stay tuned for more announcements. Now, anyway, we are going to introduce our next guest, but before we bring her on, first of all, I hope you're sitting down. This girl is totally beautiful. Her beauty is so impeccable. She will just wow you when you see her. But she learned to focus on her craft, okay, at a very young age, where she was with a music producer for a short time. She's traveled the country with an R&B band called Cover as one of their lead singers. And since then, she has reinvented herself as a solo artist, keeping her dream alive. And she has her roots in R&B, soul, Latin, and freestyle. She's a recording artist at Beast Entertainment. She's performed with a mutual friend of ours, Tito Puente Jr., who's been on the show. And she recently received the Star Urban Music Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a total honor and a privilege to introduce my guest to Make Your World Our Runway, Aiki. So Aiki, welcome.
Are you ready?
So Aiki, welcome to our stage.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
My God, it is such a pleasure. And that's why I
Oh,
told the audience. I said, when you see her, sit down because your beauty is so impeccable.
oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
I mean, the first time that I actually saw you, I said, oh my God. I said, I want to be like Aiki. I want to have that look every day when I get up. It's
Thank
so
you.
amazing. And you
Thank
know, when
you.
you said something about R&B, I
Yes.
love that. Because
Thank
I'll tell
you.
you why. When I was trained at the
Yes.
Juilliard to sing in the opera,
Oh, yeah.
and when I got finished with the Juilliard, I said, you know what?
Yes.
The opera is great. And I performed in Phantom of the Opera and a few others. But R&B always were, that was something where my roots were.
Yeah.
And I love that music. And
Yeah.
being that I was trained in the opera, I always say opera singers, we can actually do any type of music because we're
Yeah.
here, but we can go there.
Right.
So
Exactly.
R&B happens to be one of my favorites. So what got you into that? Because you've got a lot of roots between soul, Latin,
Oh,
freestyle. So what got you into R&B?
I grew up in music. When I was a little girl, growing up, you listening, my mother played all kinds of music. So I grew up listening to Billie Holiday, Etta James, Ella Fitzgerald. You grew up listening to that music, and then she just expanded with Tito Puente Sr., Celia Cruz, so many of the greats that you listen to. And I just kind of enjoyed what I was hearing. But when you really study music, you find out that Afro Latina, it's deep. It runs deep. It runs very deep, and soul music can really touch your soul. It's a beautiful
Oh,
thing, and not everybody can sing it. You can sing it, but you got to feel it when you sing it. And that's how I started studying and just listening and really focusing on the lyrics and falling in love with the gift. And I thought, you know what? If they can do it, so can I. And
oh,
you
absolutely.
know,
I
so that.
I've listened to your music, I've listened to your video, and I said, oh my God. I
Wow,
said,
thank you.
you're like a powerhouse on that stage.
Oh,
And
thank you so much.
you know what I love about you? You really feel the music. When
Yeah,
you get out there to sing, some people just sing and they utter the words,
yeah.
but you really put the meaning behind those words. It
Thank
is, and
you.
it really touched my heart because I said,
Thank
you
you.
know what? Now there's a singer out there that really, she's getting the message across. And
Mhm.
so many people don't do that in the industry. So
Right.
you have a way of doing that. And you're like a total package. So when you
Oh,
come on that stage, you're actually giving a great message. And you know
thank
what? In today's world, that is so rare to find. So my hat's off to you for being just absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I feel like music has to tell a story. Music, for me, any song that I sing, any song that I record, has to tell a story. It has to be relatable to my life, not only just my life, so I can sing from my experience, but I want it to be relatable to everyone else, whether it's a man or a woman. We've all been through these ups and downs in life
Correct.
and your relationships, and that I think is very important. I feel like music has lost its tell of a story in the lyric, and it needs to be told. The story needs to be told, whether it's your story or someone else's story, but it's going to connect us all. So I like to sing on experiences that I've had to bring it forward. So
Exactly. And I've done the same thing. A few weeks ago, my husband and I went to see, and he goes way back, Johnny Mathis. Okay. And
yeah,
I knew John, okay, in his day when he was in New York, and I had a distinct pleasure of meeting him and even
yes,
going to one of his golf outings.
mhm,
And he did a song called 99 Miles to LA, which I love. Okay.
yes,
And the minute he started singing that song on stage, my husband turned around and said to me, where are you? I said, where am
mm,
I? Don't even ask.
yeah,
Because the way he put that song over, I
mhm,
actually went in a trance. And it actually brought back a memory of mine that when I was in LA and I was driving, and I was 99 miles from LA thinking about something.
yeah, right,
And you're right, that's what music is all about. It
yeah,
has to tell a story. And that song
absolutely,
told a story about me,
yeah,
personally where I was. I must
wow,
have went back about 15 years ago,
yeah,
but it just took my mind off of actually where I was sitting that particular moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what a good song will do when it connects to you, when the person can relate to it, when it's delivered, when you're connected as a singer to the music, not just the music, but you're connected to the lyric. That's what brings it and really makes it special. There's so, like you said earlier, there's so many singers that sing, you can sing and the music is here, but there's a space here. They're not connected. And you need to be connected to really deliver that message, whatever
Exactly.
that
And when
message
I
is.
went through my opera training, because I graduated the Juilliard, that was one of the things. I mean, we had instructors that actually screamed right in our face. You're not,
Yeah,
you're not projecting it. You're not getting it. You
yeah,
don't feel it. And when you're
yeah.
singing those arias and you're way up here,
Yes.
and you got to take those deep breaths,
Yeah,
you
you
better be
have
able to feel that music, because
that.
if you
Yeah.
don't, you're not telling that story. And
No,
what I
not
would
at
always
all.
do is I would always look at the words of the song. And I
Yes.
do that till today. Once in a while when I do perform, I look at the words and I
Right.
try to relate those words to something that's happened in my life, or maybe a
Exactly.
memory, or something that's happened in my family, because that's the
Yeah.
way I can get my message across. Even when I host a lot of shows and I talk
Right.
to an audience,
Right.
and people say, "Oh, you're pretty good. You always tell a few jokes and you talk." I said, "You know why I do
Yeah.
that? Because
Yeah.
that's a way for me to be in touch with the audience.
Yeah.
I have to know what they're feeling as well as
Yeah.
they have to be comfortable with me. So even
Yeah.
if I'm
Exactly.
hosting up there,
Yeah.
I have to make people feel comfortable. And once I get that trust and I get them comfortable, I could probably say anything up there.
That's it. Yeah. Once you grab them, you got them. And it's up to you as the artist to make sure that you keep it there, so they don't hear you for a few minutes and go, okay, that's good. And then they get bored and walk off. You don't want that. You want to grab it. So absolutely, you know.
Exactly. And that's something I notice you do. When I listen to your videos, you grabbed me right away. I was like,
Mm,
oh, I said, this girl is a powerhouse. I said,
thank you.
and when you mentioned like Celia Cruz and some of the greats, that's what they did.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, when
Yeah.
Celia Cruz came out on that stage, and especially when she performed with the great Tito Puente, there was no
Yeah.
taking your eyes off of those two. A
No.
dynamic duo.
Yeah.
And I've seen you
Yeah.
with Tito, and especially when you just recently received the Star Urban Music Award, just seeing the two of
Yes.
you posing with that award in the picture, it was like a
Yes.
powerhouse. It was a
Yeah.
message that was coming across. So
Yes.
I know you perform with Tito, and I mean, I've never performed with Tito, but I've always had him perform in some of my shows. What is it
Yes.
like really performing with him and being on stage?
When you're on stage with Tito, he brings such an amazing, incredible energy. Energy. The first time that I got the honor of being around him was when we were in the studio when we were first recording Latin Love. We did Latin Love and Summer Nights. And when he started playing the timbales, what happens with Tito, Tito transforms into his father. You see his
Yes.
father, Tito Puente Sr., coming straight through him. And the volume, the energy it goes like this, until it just explodes. And so to be on stage with him, he keeps that energy moving constantly. And you're so involved in the feeling and having so much fun. It's like taking this, he just brings you I can't even explain it. I don't even have the words. It's an incredible feeling because he is such a showman and his
Oh,
energy is so vibrant. And it's wonderful. It makes you as a singer come alive. So you enjoy that moment. We had the best time. We've had the
oh
best
yeah.
time performing.
I,
So
I can agree with that. I mean, a lot of
yeah,
times where he's been on stage and I'll go out and host a couple of minutes and introduce him. I mean, he's always with us for the Miss International World Pageant.
yes,
And just that energy, just to have him
yes,
behind me, okay,
yeah,
because I know I have a lot of energy, but when he's behind me, oh
yes.
my God, it's like I took a
It,
speed pill or something, because I can feel it. I can feel it. It's
yes,
like that energy just coming behind me. And in my mind, I
yeah.
say, I better get this right because I'm going to hear about it if I don't.
Yeah. He made everything so I was a little nervous in the beginning when we went into the studio and he was coming into the studio. And when he came in, I remember all of a sudden, he's playing the timbales and and we're all just still in it. And the room just got so hot. It went from like 50 degrees to like 150 degrees. And I was like, oh my God. But it was his energy. It was his vibe. It was everything. And I remember being on the set of Summer Nights and Tito says to me, You know, there's no need to be nervous. Don't be nervous. I mean, I had done several videos before, but you're doing one with Tito Puente Jr. And this is a big deal because he is such, it was a huge honor. And he was like, don't be nervous. And the jokes that were coming out of him left and right, totally, whatever I was feeling, totally left me. And I was just like, who needs to have nerves when you have Tito Puente Jr.? Who needs that? You don't need that because, you know, he brings everything to life and he makes you feel so comfortable and so good. And it's incredible. I mean, that is something I'm truly honored to be a part of with him, is to have him on my records is just so special. So these are great memories that I've created, and you know, musically everything is just moving the way it's supposed to, and I'm grateful for that, truly.
Yeah, exactly. And I totally understand where you come from. You know, it's funny because we've had Melina on the show, and you know, he performs a lot with Melina.
I love her.
Yes. And she said the same thing. She said, you know what, when I first started performing with him, she said, and I first met the family, she said, and I knew of, you know, all about his father. She said, I was a little nervous about that too.
Yeah.
But now that, you know, she knows him and she's performed a lot with him, and he told her the same thing. Nothing to be nervous about.
No.
And he told me that too. Listen, don't worry about it. I'm behind you. We got this. And I'm like, okay.
Him completely. Yes. And it was, you know, when I got to finally meet Melina, she is just absolutely so precious. And she's another one that is just so vibrant, and then their energies match really well on stage. And it's fun to watch them. But, you know, who's not going to get a little bit intimidated when you meet someone like Tito with the history that Tito has? It's the history that he has, and it's the legacy that he carries, because he is really just bringing his father's memory to life 1,000%, because he comes through him. It's beautiful to see.
In fact, when I see you performing them and I see Melina performing them, I really start thinking of Celia Cruz, La Lupe. I said, boy, these girls, I said, today have got it. Yourself, Melina. I said, they're right out there with Tito. And it reminds me of the old days of the Palladium, the Copacabana. And, you know, it's funny because I do know the original owner of the Copacabana. And they are looking to put, the Copacabana was in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it had closed down. The management changed. And the location really wasn't the right location. It was off on a side street instead of being like on Las Olas.
Right.
And they closed down just before Tito was going to do like a weekend concert there. So now they're looking to bring it back. And because I've kind of been in touch with the owner and I've done some favors for him, he has said to me, if you want to use the name of the Copacabana, you've got my permission. And I'm like, yeah. So they're looking to get the Copacabana to come back in probably one of the casinos.
Oh,
so if it does, I will probably be involved with a lot of that planning and a lot of getting the acts in there. So you guys would have a permanent home.
Oh, okay? That would be incredible. I would love that. Yes,
absolutely. In fact, you know, Tito does perform every year for the Miss International World Pageant, and he's due to perform for us again in October.
Oh, okay.
And he always has Melina with him. One year Melina couldn't make it, but I am going to write him today and say, listen, because I think it would be fantastic to perform several times. Can we have the two ladies? Can we have Melina? And can we have Aiki?
Hey, because I would love that.
Love to have you there. I think that would be a powerhouse show. And I even have the theme, which I'm looking to do, Return to the Copa.
Oh, how wonderful. Yeah. That would be amazing. I would love that. Yes, I'm in. Definitely.
I would really, because to be honest, it would be the show of shows. And I always tell Tito, we're going to rock it all the way to the Bahamas. And he always says, yes, we are. So I will be writing him today. I think it's time to do an all-star show.
I love that.
The Palladium, the Copa.
I love that.
Yeah, and you would just be absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm honored. I would absolutely love that. So yes, anytime I am there. You just let me know when, and I'm there. So yes.
And you'd be a big inspiration to our ladies too, because believe it or not, a lot of our pageant ladies do follow you.
Oh.
And they tell me, they go, Angela, she's gorgeous. And I'm like, you realize that, huh?
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
I got up real early, and my husband said to me, he said, "Boy, are you really working on that makeup?" I said, "Are you kidding? I got Aiki coming on the show." I said, "You know how gorgeous she is." And he goes, "Oh, yes."
Oh,
I said,
thank
"I got to
you.
look a certain way." So you know what? It's great because you're such an inspiration to so many
Thank
women
you.
out there. And, you know, you see a lot of entertainers on stage, and I've said this to Melina as well. I see women go on stage, the hair is all sticking up, no makeup on, the ratty clothes. I said, "What is this?" I said, "I can't imagine anybody going on stage like that."
Yeah.
And then to see somebody like yourself is, what a breath of fresh air.
Oh, thank you. You
Yeah.
know, it's about the talent. It's not about, you know, I am a firm believer in a woman should never show her body if you have the talent. So what are you
Right.
selling? Are you selling your body or are you selling your talent? And this should be everything you need. The rest of it is an enhancement. But they want to hear you sing. They don't want to see everything else that comes out. You know what I mean? There's things that you just, as a woman, as an especially in today's field, especially in the entertainment field today for a woman, it's all about that packaging. And it's don't let the sex be what sells you. Let your vocal and your talent that God gifted you with be what sells you.
I'm
You know?
glad you said that because I know a lot of our ladies, when they'll be listening to this show,
Yeah.
that is something that we tell them every day. And it is great. When you're on stage, you're not
Yeah.
selling your body, you're selling your talent. But if you look good, and you know, there's such a thing called image, image, image. When you first
Yes.
go on that stage and people say, "Oh,
Yeah.
wow, look at her hair, look at her makeup, look at
Yeah.
the outfit that she's on." And then you sing and you have a talent like you do.
Mhm.
Now you've got that audience right in the palm of your
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. And I noticed one thing, and I do the same thing, the nails.
Yes.
There we go. So we
Between
have
them.
everything in common between the hair, the makeup, the nails. And I'll give you another little secret. I worked for Lancome Cosmetics for over 12 years,
Oh,
and I
wow.
was a trainer. And if you even walked into the counter without even having that lipstick on, if you
Yeah.
just were coming in,
Yeah.
okay, go to the ladies' room or go home until you're made up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, I always say that, you know, my hair, because I always get a lot of comments on the hair with the one side shaved. And, you know, this
Oh,
is
of course.
my, you know, I have like the bougie side and then I have the edgy side and it works. It's different. It's different. But I'm always with the nails, the makeup, the eyelashes. You know, I relate that to my Cuban roots. You know, Cuban women we're always a little gaudy. So I'm, you know, I gotta have everything flashy.
I don't blame you. So, you know, I did want to ask you, what actually got you started into the music business? I know you were very young. You did go with that R&B band,
Yes.
R&B band cover. I know what got me into the music business. I was 2 years old and they threw me out on stage, so I had no choice. But
Yeah.
what got
Yeah.
you involved with that? Because
You
I,
know, my believe it or not, my mother actually got me involved in music. My father he was a Latin singer many years ago, so I have that ability that again came from him. He had his own Latin band and the whole thing. But my mother said that I was 3 years old and I was in the kitchen one day and she said I just started singing an old song, and she said, "How did you?" And so my mother then was like, okay. And she started to work with me and work with me. And when I was about 13 years old, I was in the bedroom and I remember being in front of the bedroom and I was in front of my mirror and I was singing a Whitney Houston song. And I guess I was here and the note was over here somewhere. And my mother said, if you can't hit the note, don't sing it because you gotta meet. And with that, I was like, okay. And so I started really focusing. I've never been trained. I've never any of that stuff, but I really started focusing. And then when in school, I started to get into choir and really just kind of tuned into, I can do this. This is what I want to do. And so my first introduction into the stage, I was at 13 and I had went on a radio show and performed. And I think the bug right then, that's when it bit me. And I knew at that point, this is something that I want to do, but you have to find your footing. I don't want to be known as a specific singer. That's why I like to be an all around singer where I can sing country, I can sing R&B, I can sing, you know, salsa if I need to, I can sing whatever I have to in order to, somebody needs it, then I'm going to do it. If I can't do it, then I'm going to figure out a way to learn it to where I can do it. You know, it's you just want to be all around grounded, not I want to be just this. No, I want to be able to sing everything and utilize my talent in that, you know, that way. So
That's perfect, because I always said that too. Even though I was
yeah,
opera trained, I wanted to be able to sing whatever that audience was looking for. And
yeah,
I totally love R&B. I mean, there's one
yeah,
song that I love, "You Go to My Head," and I
yeah,
I never sang it with the orchestra. I always did it just with the piano.
yeah.
But I told Tito just recently, and this is a true story. Uh, Love Me with All Your Heart. I actually do it in Spanish, "Cuando caliente el sol." And when
Oh,
I told Tito that, he says, "Oh my God." He said, "Come and perform it with me." So I got the music to it.
uh-huh,
And I said,
uh-huh.
"Tito, you're not going to believe this." I performed that song one night at the Village Vanguard. Okay.
Wow,
And Tito's father knew that I was a singer, and he happened to come in. And he heard me singing, and he said, "You know what? We're going to rework this."
wow,
He actually reworked the arrangement for me to that
wow.
song.
Oh my
And when
goodness.
I
Yeah,
sang
yeah,
it the next time with a full orchestra, we killed it.
I'm sure.
We killed it because his father, I didn't realize, I mean, he was a great singer and, band leader, but I didn't realize that he was a master arranger at the same time.
Oh, I know. It's crazy the history. When you read on Tito Puente Sr., you're just like,
Right?
"What? I didn't know he danced." He first started dancing when he was little. I did. So when Tito's coming out with all this music or all this
Yeah.
information on his father, it's like, holy crap. You don't realize it that he was so
Oh,
multi-talented in so many ways. So
unbelievable. And that's why I
yeah,
tell people, I said, if you're performing with Tito Puente Jr. or even in his presence, I
yes.
said, you should kiss the ground he walks on. I said, because you don't realize what his father was all about.
Yeah.
I said, of course, me living in New Jersey and having New York City as my playground,
Yes.
the Latin community was very popular, and that
Yeah.
music during the
Yeah.
1950, 1960 dance craze. And
Oh,
then, disco actually brought it back out. The Latin
yeah.
music came back out again.
Yep.
And you could dance to that music. You could sing to that music. Okay.
Yeah.
And I said to Tito, we need a good Latin club around here because people don't realize this music is actually coming back. People think
Yeah.
this music died. It did not. This
No.
music is so alive. Okay.
Yes.
And
Yes.
people like yourself and Melina and Tito
Yeah.
and a lot of other great Latin artists.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
In fact, during COVID, when the lockdown and Melina used to do her shows on Friday nights,
Uh-huh.
my mother was in the kitchen dancing. And you know what? It was great because every day you were hearing about so many people dying or so many people getting sick. So on
Yes.
Friday nights, you had that hour. And in
Yeah.
fact, a couple of times Tito did it. And
Yeah.
it was great because
Yeah.
now you had something to look forward to. And that
Yeah.
music just got you up. Whatever you were thinking about
Yes.
that hour, you went out of your mind. And
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Absolutely. You know, during the pandemic when it first really shut everything down, Tito and I actually recorded. That's when we got into the studio and I recorded an entire album. So I still have. So Tito actually did 3 songs with me. So but there was nothing to do. So why not make
yeah,
music? Why not?
it,
So we got in the studio and he came in and we got what we needed done and I finished off my album and it does because it can take you away from everything else that was going on. It was refreshing. It really was refreshing to be able to record and do that in that time. So,
exactly. It,
you
it,
know,
it, it really did.
yeah.
And especially when he came out with this new album that he has with his father, The King and I, which is
Yes.
amazing. I mean, he's got
Amazing.
Alberto El Canario on there. I mean, he's got
Sheila
everybody on.
E. Yeah. You can't help but listen to it over and over and over. And no matter how many times you hear the songs, there's one you like a little more, or there's one you like a little more, or you hear something different in this one, or you hear something different in this one, or, and they stay right here in your head. And that's the essence of really, really good music when you have that, when those songs,
Exactly. And when
just,
he was on Dancing with the Stars, I was like, Oh, okay. All of you should be on Dancing with the Stars. I mean, some of the
Oh,
entertainment they bring on is okay, but
yeah.
I was saying to my husband last night, I said, if they had Aiki, Melina, Tito, I said, you imagine that dance floor? I said, everybody
Oh,
would be coming out.
I would love that. That actually would be amazing. And to have the dancers, the salsa dancers, and the
Right?
please.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
energy just from Tito alone is amazing.
exactly. Well, that's the kind of show I'm trying to put together with the pageant. Is this time when Tito performs and to have salsa dancers there because it's just a complete show. And in
Yeah.
fact, when Tito performed for us this last August
Uh-huh.
on the ship, and the first night he performed, everybody was up dancing. He had everybody up there.
Yeah.
Everybody was on the dance floor. I mean, even
Yeah.
girls that came in from India and other countries. I didn't realize followed this music. And they were up there salsa dancing. And I said, well, there you go. This music is worldwide.
Worldwide. Even if you don't understand the language, the
Right.
music, the musicality, the rhythms, that will touch you. It doesn't matter what language you speak. It's right here, and it's right here. And you will
Exactly.
just, yeah. Oh, yes. He's
I
incredible.
love it. And something when I watch you perform, you do a little something that I do. I don't know, were you a professional dancer? Because you've got the moves.
I actually, when I was very young, actually, I have a history in pageants, with pageants as well. When I was very young, I was 3 years old. My mother put me into the Cinderella pageant, and I
Okay.
actually won the pageant. But I was in dance as well, and I was in gymnastics. So even when I was with the cover band, we did move and dance, and So yes, I have that in me. I can do it. It's just now that I'm a little older, it's coming back out.
I say the same thing.
Little by
I've
little.
done that because besides singing, I also studied dance. But before COVID, before we had the lockdown, I had the distinct pleasure, because he does own a studio in Boca Raton, Max from Dancing with the Stars.
Oh,
I had the distinct pleasure of studying with Max. I took a
unbelievable.
group class, and then I took a private class. And then during the lockdown, him and his wife, 3 days a week, were giving classes online. They were doing aerobics, exercise classes. So I signed up, and I was doing 3 classes a week with Max. But when he was here before COVID, oh yeah, and to study with him, oh my God.
Oh, he's a phenomenal dancer.
Phenomenal. I did not think that I could ever dance with a Max. But
Wow.
1 or 2 lessons with him, whether it's private or in a group,
Yes.
you can dance with Max. I mean, he's just, when he starts with those hands, but he's phenomenal. He really is.
Yeah.
And he does it in a way that you can kind of understand what he's doing. And what I like that he said, if it wasn't for our Latin friends and the people that sing the Latin music, we would not have a career. We wouldn't be dancers. You could tap all you want, and you could do jazz all you want. He
Yeah.
said, but when you're really competing and you're doing the Latin dances and salsa, now that's dancing.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And he gave credit to all the top Latin artists. I mean, even Tito's father. He said, listen, we definitely would not have a career if it wasn't for them.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So I was very impressed with that. So I'll tell you, the next time when I know he's doing a lot of traveling, and of course with what's going on in Ukraine, he's from Ukraine, and he's been going back and forth to help a lot of refugees. The next time he comes into Boca, and he's going to be here personally, I'm going to invite you to come with me.
Yes, I would love that. I would love to meet him. Maybe learn a few dance moves or 2. That would be incredible.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah. And sometimes they do shows and they have singers. So maybe eventually we could do a whole show there.
That would be great. Really, I would love one of them to just take the song, either Latin Love or Summer Nights, the remix that Tito and I did, and just do this, this whole routine to it. I think that would be phenomenal.
It would be phenomenal. Oh, I love that Summer Nights.
Thank you.
I sing it over and over again. I think it's so great with you and Tito. That combination was fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
What do you have coming up on the horizon? I know you perform a lot, you record a lot. So what do you have coming up?
So right now I will be going back into the studio. So I'm going into in June. I am doing the Pro Am June 12th and 13th as of right now. And that's going to be in Miami. That's the break dance. They do a whole break dance thing. So I'll be performing at the after party, which is a lot of fun. And then I just have some studio work. As of right now, things are a little quiet, but they're starting to build more and more, and everything's starting to really open itself back up, which is great. So I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to
it's
that.
really great. Things are opening
Yeah.
back up. It's even opening up
Yeah.
back up in the fashion industry.
Yes.
In fact, I'm going to send you an invitation. You probably saw it on my Facebook, but we have hooked up with Supermodels Unlimited magazine. And I
Yes.
have 5 of my ladies that are going to be modeling in that show. It's going to be on the Clevelander
Okay.
Hotel. I love that hotel on South
Yes.
Beach
Yeah.
on June the 18th.
Okay.
If you are not performing that night, I'm going to send you an invitation.
I,
I'd love to have you there as my guest. And I'd love to
absolutely.
introduce you to all the people that run that, because they always have performers and entertainers.
Oh,
So if there's any, and they go around the world. Okay.
perfect.
Supermodels. I mean, they're doing a big thing in Costa Rica next year. They've done
Nice.
Hawaii. We're going with them again back to New York Fashion Week. So if you have that date open, I'd love to introduce you to some of the people that run that.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
who knows, maybe you can host, and maybe you could perform for them, and
Yeah.
even get in their magazine.
That would be awesome. I would love that. Absolutely. Yes, I'm absolutely. Thank you.
And also, I'm going to recommend you for Platform Magazine.
Oh,
The editor, Dr. Judy Stavely, is a great friend of mine. We've had Melina on the cover up there with a full cover story, and I think she'd love you and she'd love your story. So if we can get you on the cover of that magazine,
thank
that
you.
would be our gift to you.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I just think you're absolutely fantastic. You're such a role model for this industry, and as you said, you've done pageants, so a lot of my girls follow you. They love you, and I think it would just be great to have you at the pageant, and I think you'd be a terrific inspiration to them as well.
I would love that. That truly is an honor, and I would absolutely love that. So thank you so much. That's so exciting.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
it is, and it's been such a pleasure. So, Ike,
Yes.
any last words that you have for our viewers? Anything you'd like to tell them?
Just to keep moving forward, never stop. Always give thanks and just keep moving forward. Follow your dreams. Make the world your runway. Simple.
Exactly. I say the
You
same
know?
thing. Never give up, never stop, get
Yep.
back in the fight. And no matter what goes on,
Yep.
follow your dreams. Absolutely.
That's
So
it.
you and I are on the same wavelength. Well, it
Yes.
has been an absolute honor and a pleasure to have had
Thank
you
you.
on this show. And anytime you want to come back and make our world your runway, you just say it and we will make it happen. And
Thank
if
you
you're
so much.
performing anywhere and I have the date open and you're allowed to have guests, I would love to see you perform live, because I think you are
Absolutely.
amazing.
I,
And as I said, as time goes on, I hope we have the opportunity to work together, because
yes.
I mean, I've had a lot of guests on this show, but just reading your bio and seeing the things you do, I am so impressed and
Thank
so
you.
honored that we have an entertainer that gets on stage and is able to perform the way you do, look the way
Thank
you
you.
do, and bring some class back to the world.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
so
So thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on our show. And I know our listeners and our viewers are going to love it. I will let you know when this is going to air. And like I said,
Yes.
anytime you want to come back and just let us know, you have an open invitation to make our world your own.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. And I hope you have a great weekend. Mwah.
Thank you. Love you too.
Thank you. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another fabulous guest, Aiki. She is just absolutely amazing. And as I always tell you, stay tuned, because next week we will have another amazing guest on Make Our World Your Runway. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a great weekend. We will see you soon.